Hello and welcome back to my F1 PPR League Racing season. We are here for the penultimate round of this season. It is the Austrian Grand Prix. If you have missed any of the previous episodes, go check them out with the card annotation in the top right hand corner of your screens. But we are currently third in the Drivers' Championship after getting the race win at the British Grand Prix. Definitely go check that race out if you haven't done already. 108 points. We are still within a chance of the championship. We can take it to the final round, and of course in the constructors as well. P2, 15 points off the Williams boys. There is still a chance to win the constructors championship too. But now heading into Austria, and let's take a look at our best lap in qualifying. It's actually going to be our second lap here, about halfway through the qualifying session. We currently sit P5 in the standings, drop it down to fourth gear momentarily before we switch it back up into fifth to get that traction out of the corner a little bit quicker than our previous lap time through turn 1 and running down into the turn 3 corner now. Braking just after the 100 meter board. We drop it down in second gear, but you want to go into third there and then into fourth. We actually lose time on the exit of the corner. So it was a good start, but we kind of lost it a little bit, but we need to gain time over the rest of the lap. Braking late into that corner. And maybe could have kissed the apex a little bit more, but getting the car over to the right-hand side as soon as we possibly can. Then over to the right, and then flick it back through the left. This fast double left-hander. It's so much fun to throw the car through here, and as you can see, gaining a lot of time through the second double left-hander. Into the double rights now, another very high-speed section of the course. Very fun as well. We probably need to take that inside curb a lot more, but nice through the last corner. 3/10 gained on our previous best lap time, and that's good enough for the time being to put us into P4. So very good qualifying so far. It does drop us down to P9, but for the first time in a while, we've out-qualified our teammate, and we were only actually 2/10 off of pole position. So very close in the qualifying session, which is fantastic for us. Yes, okay, we're down in P9, but we've got some really fast drivers in this league now. A lot of drivers that were on the similar pace to, and as you can see, it is going to start off with a wet race here in Austria, going onto the intermediate tyres for the start of the Grand Prix as we line up onto the grid. The lights coming on now. We get a 5 red lights for the Austrian Grand Prix, the penultimate round of PPR Season 3, and it is another good start from us. Starts are where we show our true colours, as we've had some fantastic starts so far this season, round the outside though, but we're giving a lot of drivers a lot of room because we don't want to risk anything on the first lap. My teammate risking it all, but actually overtaking me there, moving up into P8. We've got DM Guy up into P7 at the moment, but again, nice and cautious down in towards turn 1, but we just get a little bit too late on the brakes there. Try to have a look around the outside of Marken and DM Guys, who annoyingly get a warning for penalty, a warning for going off the track there, even though we didn't really gain any time. We kind of forced off the track by the Aston Martin driver. Just watching these drivers ahead now to go for an overtake on Mark and my teammate up the inside, and now going to have to go right around the outside if we want to take this position through the next corner, but he actually gives up the place as we are of course the one fighting in the Drivers' Championship. So he's been a good teammate at the moment, letting me through and not wanting to fight me too much. We have a driver off on the right hand side. That's that's actually Dark there fighting with DM Guy. Those two going wheel to wheel at the moment. Not too sure if Dark has got damage early on in this race, as we're going to go right around the outside into the penultimate corner. And yes, I believe he does have damage in this Grand Prix. So disappointing there for Dark, but there is a long way left to go. There is still the potential, of course, for him to get back into it at the end. We've seen with these races, just like myself in Britain last time out, you know, it's not over in the first few laps. It's so easily able to change. But here we go, lap 6 now, right to the back of DM Guy, looking to maybe go for an overtake down towards turn 4. Late on the brakes, up the inside on DM Guy. We meet the apex, we run it a little bit wide, close the door on him, and unfortunately for DM Guy, that is position loss. But great news for us, we're up into P6 and now hunting down the Aston Martins of Weasel Albon and Cyril Irritable there for the Aston Martin team. So right to the back of Weasel Albon now. Nothing that we can do there into turn 3, but now going to have a look potentially into turn 4. We made an overtake last time on DM Guy. Will we go again? We go late on the brakes. Maybe the switchback move, but Weasel Albon places his car perfectly there. Nothing we can do, and we're going to have to wait for lap 18 as we're on the back of both Weasel Albon and Cyril. They're fighting each other. The Aston Martins down in towards turn 3. Can we have a look in now? We get very close to the back of Weasel. A great switchback at the apex. We're wheel to wheel now with Weasel Albon. We're just about sticking our nose up in there, but we're getting on the ERS all the way down into turn 4. We've not got the straight line speed compared to Weasel, but much later on the brakes, sticking our nose in. We hold it side by side with the Aston Martin driver, and the greater traction off of the corner allows us to take the overtake. What a move that was to overtake one of our championship rivals. He's just behind me in the Drivers' Championship. Cyril now is the next driver ahead of us. It's currently lap 18 going on to lap 90. My teammate coming into the pits, going for the gamble as the track is drying up. He's gambling, going for an early pit stop to tell me when it is time to come into the pits. So when his tyres start to feel good, he starts to gain on other drivers, that's when I know when to come into pits. So thank you very much, Markin, for doing that. But we're right on the back now of Cyril, going down in towards turn 3. He is going to go defensive on the inside. We're going to go late on the brakes, then hold it, go for the switchback. We meet the apex perfectly, just about find enough room, getting the switchback on Cyril all the way down into turn 4 now. But he is still holding it on the left-hand side. We know him. He is actually 256, I think it is, usually in this league race. And he's going to hold it round the outside. No room for error here, especially in these wet conditions. But the greater traction once again allows me to make that move stick. And we move up into P3 for this race, onto the podium, but our championship rival Jim Wong leading the way. So if we want a chance of trying to jump him in the championship, we need to get past him, and we're actually going to go for an early pit stop here. So on the inside, making sure we don't cut that white line, because you will get a penalty in PPR if you cross those white lines. And we're going to come into the pits and now go for a set of dry tyres. I think we're going to go for a set of medium tyres, which will take us till the end of this race. So medium tyres going on the car now, and not too many drivers have pitted yet for the mediums. Jim Wong has. I'm not too sure whether he cut that pit lane line though, so that might be something that might be investigated after the race. Dart gets past us. He of course pitted very early on lap 1 and is still on the intermediate tyres. But we're going to come out ahead of Arturo, who of course was the pole position man. We're P8 though at the moment, but like I say, there's a lot of drivers still expected to come into pits, and something we rarely see, I have only gone and got fastest lap. We're not going to hold it for too long because other drivers are going to be coming into the pits as well. But we were very, very quick at these opening stages as the track evolved and went into the dry tyres, because Jim Wong there would set fastest lap, but then I go faster than him, which was brilliant. I was able to catch up to my championship rival, and we're going to come out ahead of Weasel Albon as well, who's actually gone for the gamble onto the soft tyres in this race. So he's moving up into P4, and he's going to be right to my tail. He's going to be absolutely gunning for it on those soft tyres, because his championship is in the balance as well. He needs to win this race, and the safety car has been deployed, as I think that was a Ferrari on the right-hand side out of the Grand Prix, and annoyingly for them, that's going to be their race done. Lap 26 out of 36. There's 10 laps left to go here, and we are looking like we're going to come into the pits for a set of soft tyres. I believe that's what we're going to do. Not too sure whether this is the right decision. There's a long way left to go, and we are actually going to give up track position surely to Weasel Albon, who is on those soft tyres, but everybody else going for that same decision. Everybody else coming into the pits for a set of soft tyres. So really, we're only going to lose out to Weasel Albon here. So only losing one position in this race. But I'll tell you what, Dark has had an absolute blinder with that safety car, because he's pitted from those intermediates onto the soft tyres, and now he's up into 3rd position. But he does have time penalties, as the safety car is going to be coming in this lap, and we are underway. Not the greatest of safety car restarts from us. I do get a 5-second time penalty. That was for Rickett running into the back of me, but we will send that over to the stewards, and that should be removed by the end of the race. It's something we probably wouldn't have to worry about at the moment in this race, as we are going to look at trying to get past TJD. He was 2nd in this race before the safety car came out. It was Jim Wong, TJD and myself, I believe, were the top 3 just before the rain ended. As now 256, Cyril is going around the outside through turn 3. We're going to hold it wheel to wheel with him. We don't want to fight too much because we want to stay with this pack. We're going to get this 5-second time penalty removed, but other drivers still have penalties that potentially we can gain on by the end of this race. As Cyril forces me across the apex there, we do get another warning and a 3-second time penalty, but another one we will be sending to the stewards and hoping we can get away with that. Cyril goes a little bit too deep there, touching the back of TJD, and that allows me just to switch it back on him and move up into P5 once again. We've got 6 laps left to go of the Austrian Grand Prix. Cyril all over the back of me at this stage of the race, taking that curb and just allowing the car to nicely flow through these final 2 corners as the back end steps out ever so slightly, as Cyril now gets a great run off of that final corner. Are we going to fight him too much? He holds it. We're going to go very early on the brakes, and he actually gets position. We were hoping to go for a bit of a switch back there on Cyril, but unfortunately he made the corner and he holds on to the position. So dropping down into P6, but he has 6 seconds of time penalties. Obviously, we don't know, he could get those penalties removed, but it is unlikely as Cyril goes too deep once again, this time into TJD, and that is another free position for myself. I've got my teammate right behind me, which is of course always good because that means I've got that little safety buffer from Marken at the moment. TJD fighting with Dark. So Dark not working on these soft tyres as well as he would have liked, but he is still fighting for this podium with TJD. We're right behind these 2 drivers, seeing what we can do in this race. We've got 2 laps left to go of the Austrian Grand Prix. Dark having to settle for losing that position. We get another warning in this race, making that 3-second time penalty that we've got is going to be harder to try and get rid of that one. We go up the inside of Dark there, and we move up into P4. So a good overtake on Dark. I don't know whether he's got front wing damage or not, but we do move up into P4 now, and we will be hunting down TJD on the last lap of the Austrian Grand Prix. We've got 2 corners left to go. Our championship hopes hang in the balance because Jim Wong does have a penalty coming his way through the last corner. Can we get anything on TJD? Oh no! We've put the ERS on, we've gone for a spin, and that is surely our championship hopes over as we go into the final race, and we're going to be a long way off. As you can see, spinning the wheel in frustration, not happy with that. It does mean P7 in the race, but thanks to a penalty for Sandy Baggy, no, sorry, my penalty getting removed, and I think a penalty for Sandy Baggy, I move up into P6 in this race, and that is also going to mean that I get P4 in the championship. Unfortunately, there is no more chance for us to get the championship, and in the constructors, we still have a chance. We are on the verge of catching up to Williams. There is only 12 points in it, but that is going to do for this race. I'll see you on the next one for the finale. Until then, goodbye from me.